afternoon, guys. 4:40 on the East Coast, Saturday, March 14th, 2026. I'm Billy D. Welcome to North American Sports Report. I got a quick one for you as we set up some NCAA hoops action. Last night, the run for the Miami Hurricanes came to a temporary end as they were pounded by Virginia in the ACC semifinal, 84-62. It really was never a game. Canes were down 15 points at halftime, and it quickly got away from them. They hung in there for, I don't know, maybe a half of the first half, but other than that, I mean, their big guns, Renew, at one point in the third quarter, he was 1 for 7 with 6 points. True Washington was the only guy doing anything out there. True had 11 points at one point. I didn't get the final numbers, but I know through late in the game, Renew was 1 for 7, and he had 6 total points. Donaldson had one of his worst games. He didn't have a good game when they beat Louisville. He only had 3 points in the second half and was 0 for 5 from the field. So Donaldson did not have a great ACC tournament from the second half of that Louisville game, and he did not play well. Listen, they had their worst game of the season, losing by 22 points. They never had a big loss all year. Still, Canes have punched their ticket at 25-8 to the dance. Unfortunately, they lose to Virginia in the semifinal, who will go on now to play Duke in the ACC final after Duke easily handled Clemson last night. A big night for Cam Boozer, and this is Duke playing without 2 of their starters due to injury. They had no trouble with Clemson last night. So Duke will play Virginia in the ACC championship game tonight locally, as St. John's took care of Seton Hall yesterday, 78-68, and UConn blew out Georgetown. So 6:30 p.m. tonight in the Big East Championship, you will have UConn, the big daddy here in New England. UConn will play St. John's, who actually did win the regular season Big East Championship. But that UConn, the UConn that has won 6 championships in the last 26 years and become a perennial powerhouse, the UConn Huskies will play 6:30 p.m. versus St. John's. Let's go over some stuff here. So Duke defeated Clemson 73-61 in the ACC semifinal. Arkansas defeated Oklahoma 82-79 in the SEC quarterfinal. In the Big 12 semifinal, Houston defeated Kansas 69-47. The Mountain West semifinal saw Utah State down Nevada 79-66. The Big West semifinal saw Hawaii beat Cal State Fullerton 78-63. UCLA defeated Michigan State 88-84. That was an upset in the Big Ten quarters. What else do we got here? So UConn romped Georgetown 67-51. St. Joe's defeats Davidson in the Atlantic 10 quarterfinals 70-58. Again, we told you Ole Miss upsets Alabama in the SEC quarters. Miami just destroyed 84-62 by Virginia. That was they picked the worst time to have their worst game. Looking at some of the final numbers, Ernest Uday, the star center for the Canes, had 1 point on 0 for 3 from the field. 1 point and 5 boards. Did have 3 rebounds and 3 blocks. 1 point. Trey Donaldson held to 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting. Renew 1 for 7, 8 points for the game. Sheldon Henderson had 12. Dorvet had 8 off the bench. Washington, the high scorer, 13 off the bench at 5 for 12. The only guy that shot reasonably well for the Canes. The Canes were just blasted. And listen, it was surprising because, Virginia's had their number this year. They've had their number, but in the previous loss at Virginia, they lost by a bucket. Lost by 2 points, and there was a questionable foul call to boot down the stretch there. Yep, sorry guys. I got a buddy of mine, he always calls me at the worst time, all the time. All the time. Let's see here. I do have the call line open, 203-451-3379. It's 203-451-3379 for texts and or calls. You can call right in on the station. Also the chat. The chat is open on Facebook and on YouTube. We got nothing cooking here. Virginia last night, they were something special. Listen, they were missing a player to injury too, one of their talented freshmen. But I mean, they controlled the game from start to finish. Mallory had 12. UNESCO had 17, 8 of 9 from the field. Virginia shot 60%. I mean, Lewis 16, DeRitter 16. DeRitter shot 8 of 14. Lewis shot 6 of 9, 16 points. Thomas 15 points. The starters for Virginia shot on average 62% for the night. You're usually not going to beat a team that's shooting 62%, but they were just all over the Canes. But hey, listen, it's been a great year for the Canes. Getting to the semifinal in the ACC, already having punched your ticket to the dance, a 25-8 record. Definitely a great year, a turnaround year for Miami basketball, and definitely on the right track with Jay Lucas in control. I expect great things. He's a great recruiter. They've got NIL money like they're utilizing in the football program and the baseball program. The Canes are actually playing Duke right now in baseball. That just started 30 minutes ago in Durham. They did lose last night. Miami baseball is 13-5, off to a good start, but struggling against some of the better competition. So we'll see how Skipper Ortega gets the crew going. Definitely a good lineup. The pitching is a little questionable for Miami baseball right now, outside of Rob Evans. Okay, another big upset yesterday was, well, not an upset. Tennessee being defeated by Vanderbilt 75-68. A small upset. Tennessee was favored by a bucket in the SEC quarterfinals yesterday. So let's see what we got on the college docket for today. Today's schedule, which a lot has gotten underway already. I'm a little late today. Do have a day job. Arkansas is currently up on Ole Miss in the SEC semifinal, 37-26. That is, the second half has just gotten underway. Purdue is up 48-36 in the Big Ten semifinal over UCLA. That's 48-36 Purdue in the Big Ten semifinal. VCU is up on St. Joe's, crushing them 44-21 in the Atlantic 10 semifinal. Houston and Arizona play in the Big 12 championship tonight. That's a big one. Arizona had the last second victory, winning on the last shot against Iowa State last night. What a game that was. Again, UConn plays the Big East Championship against St. John's. UConn is currently 2.5-point favorite. It's Utah State and the San Diego State Aggies in the Mountain West Championship tonight. Toledo and Akron will play in the Mid-American Championship tonight. Duke and Virginia is 8:30. The Dukies are a 6.5-point favorite. Duke and Cam Boozer over a very talented and large Virginia. Virginia's big. They're Listen, the Canes were a great rebounding team. They got out-hustled, beat to every ball by Virginia last night. Virginia at Duke. 29-4 Virginia, 31-2 Duke Blue Devils. Duke favored by 6.5. That tip-off is at 8:30. The Conference USA Championship will feature Louisiana Tech and Kennesaw State. That's also at 8:30. The Big West Championship will be Hawaii at UC Irvine. The Mountain West semifinal, that was from earlier today. San Diego State 64, New Mexico 62. Yale won the Ivy 88-76 over Cornell. The American East, UMBC punches their ticket to the dance, beating Vermont 74-59. Vanderbilt upsets the defending champion Florida Gators today, 91-74. And Vanderbilt advances to the SEC championship game. Michigan advances to the Big Ten semifinal as they hit a 3 at the buzzer to defeat Wisconsin 68-65 today. Penn defeated Harvard 62-60 in the Ivy League semi. I'm sorry, so that means that Yale and Harvard will play in the Ivy League. I'm sorry, Penn and Yale will play. Harvard loses today in the semifinal 62-60 to Yale. And in the semifinal, Yale defeats Cornell 88-76. So you will have Yale and Penn in the Ivy League championship. That's where we're at. So championship games tonight. What games do we have? Championship games. We have Duke and Virginia for the ACC. We have UConn and St. John's for the Big East. We currently have Arkansas up 39-38 in the SEC semifinal, and we know the winner of Ole Miss and Arkansas will now play Vanderbilt. Purdue is up 49-38 on UCLA, and they will play Michigan, because Michigan defeated Wisconsin today with the buzzer beater. So that gets you up to date on college hoops. Again, rough beat down for the Canes yesterday, but a great season overall, and they have punched their ticket to the dance. Selection Sunday happens tomorrow night, so we'll be back Monday. We won't do a show tomorrow. We'll be back Monday, and we'll go over all the conference championship games and the winners. And we will look at the whole entire pool, the 64, and then the 4 play-ins, the 68 teams. So after Selection Sunday, we're going to come on Monday evening at 6 o'clock, and we're going to go over everything in the college basketball tournament, the NCAAs. All right. So as we talked about last night, we were all pumped up pregame for USA Canada, and the United States baseball team did defeat Canada 5-3 to advance to the semifinal in Miami, where they will play the Dominican Republic, a very feisty Dominican team with a great lineup. Today, in the bottom of the 4th inning, Italy is ahead of Puerto Rico 4-2, and they are also trying to punch their ticket to the final. So, U.S. plays Dominican in the semi. Italy is up 4-2 on Puerto Rico, and at 9 o'clock, Venezuela plays Japan, also from Miami. Italy and Puerto Rico are now playing in Houston as we speak. Again, in the bottom of the 4th, it's 4-2. Italy with the lead over Puerto Rico. Obviously, the winner of Puerto Rico, Italy, and Venezuela, Japan will play in the semifinal, not the final. The semifinal, and the USA has already, they already have their opponent for the semifinal. As I said before, they will play the Dominican Republic. So USA, Dominican Republic in the semifinal, and the winner of Puerto Rico, Italy, plays the winner of Venezuela, Japan in the other semifinal. And that will set up your final. Let's see when that will be. because we know we're going to... Let's see when that will be. Okay. They don't have it. So we know what's going on right now. Okay, so the Americans are playing tomorrow at 8 o'clock. They're playing tomorrow at 8 o'clock versus the Dominican Republic. And Monday, the winners of Puerto Rico, Italy, and Venezuela, Japan will play. And the final is 8 p.m. on Tuesday night, St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. So the final of the World Baseball Classic will be Tuesday night on Fox, 8 p.m. The other semifinal between the winner of Puerto Rico, Italy, Venezuela, Japan will be at 8 o'clock Monday night on Fox Sports 1. And the Americans play the Dominican Republic on Fox Sports 1 tomorrow, Sunday at 8 p.m. Fox Sports 1. There you go. You have your schedule for the World Baseball Classic. If you are the country of Canada, you have had a rough go of it lately. I mean, you got beat in the gold medal by the U.S. women in hockey. Then you get beat by the men in hockey. And then you have a shot at taking a stab at our national pastime, which, is really the NFL for the last... Listen, the national pastime in this country for the last 32 years has been the NFL. Ever since the first baseball strike, that whole national pastime thing went, out the window. But listen, we did create baseball. Canada had a real shot at a little vengeance. They were wearing their Canadian hockey jerseys during warm-ups last night. I know Jack Hughes sent a message to the men's team for the United States, and the Americans got it done. And it looked like it was going to be a blowout, but it got a little dicey. Kyle Schwarber had a ground out that generated a run in the first inning. They did have second and third one out. They only got one run out of that. It was 1-0. Then after a crazy third inning where the Americans loaded the bases with one out and a two runs scored via a throwing error on Canada. And next thing you know, it's 3-0, but the last two runs were unearned. I forget if both runs came in on that throwing error. It was a ground ball he threw into right field, but it would lead to, I know one run scored on that play, another run would be generated off and out afterwards, but I do believe both runs were unearned. So it's 3-0 United States, and they're cruising. Singles by Turange and Armstrong make it 5-0, but then in the sixth inning, after starter Logan Webb, the San Francisco Giant ace, goes 5 innings of shutout ball, manager DeRosa turns to the bullpen and not so good. After a 2-run homer by Bo Naylor in the 6th inning off Gabe Spire, all of a sudden you look up and it's 5-3. 5-3. And you're like, oh man, if they blow this. Because, listen, other than the 2 unearned runs, they had some pressure in the first, and they had some pressure in the inning where they generated the 2 runs via small ball, a couple of singles. I believe that was the 5th inning. So, other than those 2 innings, that's the only offensive fireworks we saw from USA all night. Bats weren't as alive as I thought they would be against Michael Soroka, the Washington Nationals starter who was mediocre in his start for Team Canada, as he has often been for the Nationals. So, after Bo Naylor's home run in the 6th inning, it's 5-3, and you're going, oh boy, they better not blow this one. And then, in the 7th, in the 7th, Yankee reliever David Bednar comes in the 7th. And before you know it, they're second and third, nobody out in the bottom of the 7th, as Canada did have the home, wraps. And I give Bednar credit, a lot of pressure. They're a single away from tying the game, which would put all the pressure on the throat of Team USA. Bednar gets a pop-up and 2 strikeouts, and gets out of the freaking inning, and the crowd goes nuts. You don't think people were into this. If you saw the reaction of the crowd and the reaction of the USA dugout, they went absolutely nuts. That was the turning point. They hold on to win the game, 5-3, and now the USA advances, and boy, it has been rough times for the people up north. I mean, rough times. The Blue Jays lose the World Series. You guys lose both hockey golds to USA, then you lose the World Baseball Classic, and you haven't had one of your home franchises win a Stanley Cup since the 93 Montreal Canadiens. So things not going great up north. It's not just the economy that's bad. So that sets you up for the college hoops. That sets you up for the World Baseball Classic. We're going to take a quick look at what's going on in the NHL today before we get out of here. The Bruins and the Caps 1-1 right now after 2. This is a big game with playoff implications. Caps are not completely, well, the Caps are pretty much a long shot, but the Bruins right now are holding on to that final playoff spot, so it's a big game for them. Avalanche and Jets no score. Rangers and the Wild later at 6 o'clock. Maple Leafs and Sabres, the first place Sabres, that's 7 o'clock tonight. Calgary Flames and the New York Islanders coming off a disappointing loss last night at home to LA 3-2. The Islanders look to bounce back against the Calgary Flames. The San Jose Sharks, who are now in a wild card position out west, will play the Montreal Canadiens, who are having a great season. The Hurricanes play the Lightning. The first place Hurricanes with the best record in the East play the Tampa Bay Lightning at Tampa. 7 o'clock, the Lightning just 2 points out of first behind the Sabres. Kings at the Devils, also 7. Blue Jackets also vying for that last playoff spot, 7:30 at the Philadelphia Flyers. Big matchup tonight, Red Wings Stars at 8 p.m. Penguins and Mammoth also at 8 p.m. Another big game for the Penguins with playoff implications. I do believe this is the last game. This will complete the 5-game Malkin suspension. Penguins need a win. Blackhawks at the Golden Knights. Blackhawks going nowhere. Golden Knights have fallen out of first in the Pacific as they are looking up at Anaheim, but still in playoff position. The Seattle Kraken at the worst team in hockey, the Vancouver Canucks at 10. And the Anaheim Ducks have been defeated today 2-0 by the Ottawa Senators. As the Ottawa Senators now inch ever so closer to that final playoff spot. Let's take a quick look right here. Let's take a quick look right here. Sabres, Lightning, Canadiens, your top 3. In the Atlantic, Hurricanes, Penguins, Islanders, your top 3 in the Metropolitan. Pens and Islanders tied for second, 79 points. Blue Jack, the wild cards are the Red Wings and the Bruins. 79 for Detroit, 78 for Boston. But the Ottawa Senators, after their win today, are only 3 points back, and the Blue Jackets are 1 point back. It's a big game tonight for Boston. We got both Boston and Columbus in action tonight. Columbus at Philly. And, you know, Philly is 5 points back. They're not completely out of it yet. The Capitals are also 5 points out. They're not completely out of it yet either, and they are playing Boston right now. So that game is 1-1. And 1-1 going into the third period. So that's a big game to look at. Boston, Washington, big playoff implications. Washington could get within 3 points. Ottawa's already got within 3 points of the final playoff spot today, and the Blue Jackets could possibly jump into that last playoff spot today. Like I said, memo to teams like the Red Wings, the Islanders, the Penguins. You go on a 3-game losing streak, you could be out of the mix and chasing. So that's your NHL schedule for tonight. I'm going to be glued to the ACC and SEC, the ACC and Big East championships. I am excited for the Duke, Virginia, and the UConn St. John's. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Obviously, a little disappointed to my Canes fam that we're not in it. And then, of course, the Games that are in semifinal mold, like the SEC, Ole Miss now on 51-49 on Arkansas. So who will play tomorrow in the SEC Championship? Ole Miss, Arkansas vying for a meeting with Vanderbilt, who already upset the defending champion Gators today and earned their berth. Also, third championship game tonight, the Big 12 Championship, Arizona and Houston. So that's 3 right there. The Mountain West Championship, San Diego State, Utah State, that's 4. So we got 4. How many others? The Southwestern Athletic Championship, if you're really interested in Prairie View and Southern University, not me, but they will punch their ticket if they win. Also the Mid-American Championship between Akron and Toledo, that's 5. And the Conference USA, Kennesaw State, Louisiana Tech, that's 6. The Big West, Hawaii versus UC Irvine, that is 7. So you have 7 league championship games tonight. 7 league championship games tonight in college basketball. There you are. I just gave them to you. 7 league championship games tonight. So lots of exciting college action. I'm going to get to the rest of this Puerto Rico-Italy game and see who advances to the semifinal. I'll also be checking out Otani tonight and Team Japan as they play Venezuela. Those games, they got a lot of juice to them. And the U.S.-Dominican Republic tomorrow at 8 o'clock at night. Enjoy the World Baseball Classic. Enjoy all this great college basketball action. Canes fans, we'll see where we fall in the selection. We know we're in. Thank God for Coach Jay Lucas and what he's done to the Miami basketball program. So let's see where we wind up. Selection Sunday, we'll tell the story. And we'll have all of it for you Monday at 6 p.m. here on the North American Sports Report. So please subscribe to the North American Sports Report YouTube channel and follow me, Billy D, on Billy D Napoli, Facebook, Instagram, and X. I also have all my shows live there as well. We're always live on Billy D Napoli Facebook and the North American Sports Report YouTube channel, and all our shows re-air on the Facebook and X and Instagram. Thank you guys. I'll see you Monday, 6 p.m.